Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've not got to the boat this weekend because we're staying at the farm. Got a lot of projects going on at the farm, and so I thought I'd just take you through a number of things going on. Some of the work this last week has resulted in us needing to do some repairs on tractors and some other things. So we've been working around here this weekend. Don't forget, hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel, please. Doesn't cost anything, and we're trying to grow our subscription base and keep bringing you more videos. So for us to do that, we'd like to see more subscribers, so share it with your friends and pass the word around. We hope that you find it informative, but we also hope that you find it entertaining and just enjoyable to watch. We're learning as we go, and we appreciate everybody's patience as we try to get better at putting content on the channel. So with that, let's take a look at what we've got going on at the farm this week. As I'll show you, we've got a lot of things going on. We've got to do bush hogging and weed eating around the fences and a bunch of other stuff. And one of the things that happened this week is we're moving some dirt, and I'll show you that here in a second, and we've broken our tractor loader backhoe. So you see the cylinder for the bucket curl is missing. This one's on there. Rebuilt that one about a year ago. The seals down here at the end had deteriorated over time. So I've actually got this off. It's in the shop. They're rebuilding it. Could rebuild them here. I just don't have time. And so, and that way if I run any problems, I'm not sitting there struggling with it. I think taking that off, taking it to the shop, having it rebuilt, about $200. So it's money well spent. I could probably sit here and spend 3 or 4 hours doing it. These John Deeres can be a little tricky, especially on the yellow John Deere commercial grade tractors. So we'll get that back from the shop and get it put on. I think this is Sunday, so we'll probably have that back Tuesday, and I'll show you what we're doing. And we worked the tractor for about a day and a half, and worked it really hard. It was 12 hours nonstop on this thing one day, and I'll show you why. Getting in the four-wheeler here to go up to the front. We do some spraying mainly around the board fence for the horses. So we've got this electric sprayer. We actually just ride the fence line in the four-wheeler. We use a combination of glyphosate and 2,4-D. It gets grasses and broadleaves. We do weed eat under the fences first, and then we'll apply this typically just once a season. Just helps it keep it cleaned out under the fence. We do not spray this anywhere near any of our farming operation, mainly up at the front part of the property. And so here's what we were working hard on earlier this week. We had about 26 tandem trucks, the big tandem dump truck loads of this dirt. Had a source where I could get it for free. They were looking for a dumping site, and it was pretty clean. Few rocks in it, but not too bad. And so this actually was the old construction road for this house, and we'd actually been using it for quite a few years for the road, the main access road. The county easement is actually very broad here. This was the original road, and so we've decided just to use the original road. The property here across the street has been sold, and so just to make sure there's no misunderstanding about where the center of the road property line is, we wanted to make sure that this construction road wasn't deemed the original road, which was here. The original gravel roadbed was there, etc. And so, yeah, the house, when it was built, this was actually the construction road, and the easement, the neighbor's property corner is there going back that way. So the easement was granted down through here, and it actually widened the easement. When we look back at the property here, you can see a very narrow ingress egress easement, and then it broadened out here. The original owner of this house actually owned this property and this property, and so then several years went by and they sold this property next door. But since the construction road went on the neighbor's property there for the ingress egress, the kind of road was just left there and used. And working and talking with the neighbor, you know, we've decided to reclaim the construction road area and go back to the original road ingress egress, and the center line of, you know, that road deems then, you know, the property sets off so many feet either side of the center line of that. And you know, so we could actually bring our fence out, you know, quite a bit more. Their fence was just taken down, and it was right here, kind of where you see these tall weeds. Anyway, not to get into too much detail about our property, but we were on a second day of spreading this dirt, and that's when our hydraulic cylinder sprang a leak. So we had to stop. I had them dump the last 3 loads where we could just move it down the hill and feather it in. And what we want to do is get this seeded in grass so that it's much easier to maintain, mow, etc. So I've been working on that this week. So another thing is getting ready to load some of our soil into the greenhouse. This is some stuff that we use for our 1020 trays for our microgreens when we're growing them in soil. Of course, this is you know, got organic nutrients. It's OMRI listed, and so we get this. I've done analysis on a bunch of different soils and textures, and 2 cubic foot here is about $9.90. So we end up getting a little over 10 trays with this mix. And so if you know, kind of do that math, we're just at under $1 a tray on our soil, which is about the cheapest we can do. Something I hadn't showed you, we had on our tomatoes, cherries, and our big tomatoes back in the outer row back corner. The deer got in here really bad, so you can see this orange string hanging. So what we've done is we've just taken and tied this deer netting to the greenhouse. We can take it down there, and then it just comes across, and we tie it basically to our post down the far side, and it keeps the deer out of here. And so you know, they were tearing them up pretty bad, so we had to do something. First year that the deer have really bothered tomatoes out here. Normally they'll bother some other things, but they leave the tomatoes alone. Not this year. They came in here and pretty much stripped off every green and ripe big tomato I had, and ate a bunch of the tomatoes down, the cherry tomatoes down at the bottom. But these tomato plants, you know, are anywhere from 6 to 8 feet tall, and well, maybe 6 to 7 feet tall. And so the ones up higher, they didn't get to them as bad. Always something at the farm, though, I tell you, always something. So let me expand on what I'm talking about with the potting soil. We got the potting soil loaded in here. We just did some trays, so haven't swept up yet. But I got an old bag out here. We tried this Pro Mix. I did the bigger bales of Pro Mix, and it didn't, you know, price per tray was the highest. These you could get them at Walmart. I think they were $13. It says 2 bags of 1 cubic feet, so it'd be 2 cubic feet. And this one got 9. Most of them got about 8. And so basically every time I fill up a tray, so we fill this bin up, and then we fill the trays up out of it. And you know, I got 9 on average out of this. 2 cubic foot, but it's compressed. This is uncompressed, and you can see got 11 on this one. And so literally every bag, you know, while I'm doing the cost analysis on these, I'll tick mark for each tray we do. And so these are $9.97. These are on sale. They're typically $17 or $15, but Walmart has a deal on them for $13. But even then, you know, $13 and you only get $9 you get 11. So pretty easy to see, right? This gets you down, you know, around $10. So you're getting down around 90 cents a tray on these. You're up about $1.40 a tray on these. So maybe $1.30. So you know, that's why we do it. You know, everybody wonders why we can keep our prices low on microgreens, and that's just one of many reasons. You know, one is we look at the price of the soil, and we're in 2-inch trays, so we could go make the investment on the 1-inch trays, but they're expensive. You know, they're, you know, $12, $13 a piece. I'm running, you know, anywhere around 30 trays a week. So, you know, the payback is there, but it takes about 8 weeks, I guess, to pay back. So we'll probably go that route. I'll buy a few. I want to make sure that they still grow as good in 1 inch as they do in 2 inches of soil. And then we may do a conversion slowly to go from the 2-inch down to the 1-inch. Anyway, this is just one of the factors you got to go through when you're, you know, doing anything but microgreen specific. A lot of channels out there that, you know, talk about, you know, how much they make and their sale price, but all the input costs, you know, take away to your net. So, you know, the more money you're spending on dirt, either you got to raise your price to compensate for it, or you know, you can get a better price on dirt, kind of keep your prices the same. And you know, we're not just solely a microgreen farmer, so we farm a lot of crops. So since we're not tied up into one product like microgreens, maybe multiple varieties, you know, we don't sit there and have to do, you know, we do a container for $2 for 1 ounce. We see our competitors doing like a 1.5 ounce container, a little bigger, but they're up around $4 or $5 a container. And so, you know, at a market in tough times, people are, and the quality's the same. We like to think ours is better, but you know, people are going to go for the better bargain when all else is the same. So you got to do your homework on the price inputs so that you can maximize either your returns or, you know, keep your prices low for your customers' benefit. Okay, I'll talk loud so you can hear over the fans. So as we reported, I think before, we had a big storm power failure, 24-hour outage. It took a while to get our generator back, and so our lettuce now, you know, just now getting to the point where we're getting it back. Just disregard this front channel. That was a test of some microgreens, so we took it offline. Way in the back, you can see some huge basil, some more basil here that was part of a multi-product tray. Got some more lettuce coming up here. That back there is kale. We got about 3 channels of kale, and we have been cutting kale. We've been getting probably about a 4 to 6 ounce bag. So each week we've been getting about 8 6-ounce bags a week just off of those 3 channels. Multiple cuts. I can't tell you how many cuts we've gotten off of that. So that's been a good product. We'll probably do more of that. And we got some bib lettuce, we got some summer crisp, we got some romaine out in there somewhere. So good to see our lettuce is recovering. And right now the temperature looks like it's down around 70. We're getting close to dusk. We've been keeping it around 95 to 90 in here with all the fans. And you know, it's been 90-degree sunny days. So we're being able to manage the temperature pretty well, and so lettuce is doing well. You always worry about it in July, August, just because of the heat, but so far so good. Just got to keep the power on and keep the water circulation and the fan circulation, and seems like we don't have much of a problem with lettuce through the summer. We certainly do appreciate you watching our content, and we look forward to providing more updates on both the farm and the boat as we go forward. Thanks for watching.